Everybody, Spectacular, the Silver Stacular, looking over some silver today. I tell you what, looks great on the table. What doesn't look great, though, is the fact that this stuff just costs more than ever. It's interesting to see that, all these big analysts and stuff are now saying that silver and gold are going to be going higher. And, it's easy to say that it's going to go one way or another. And then when it starts backing off, they go, oh, no, I'm going to change my estimate and it's going to be coming down or it's going to be doing this. Listen. I've always said this, right? And you know this. I've mentioned this many times. Just stack responsibly. Look at this bar right here. It says it best right there. Stack responsibly, little at a time, and you can be right here with me or above me. It doesn't matter. Stack at your own pace, right? A lot of times we see these YouTubers and they are just putting thousands of dollars worth of silver on the table or gold, and we just kind of get a little jealous, don't we? A little envious. We're like, man, maybe I should just go ahead and, sacrifice more of my income into savings, and I should save in some precious metals. Do what's best for you. If you have the funds to do it, if you feel comfortable, if you've done your research, then do it. That's fine. But don't stress yourself out about what somebody else is doing. I see that all too often. And also, listen, I think now's a good time to mention this. Just because some big YouTuber is saying that, they're doing this or that, or their coin shop or their bullion shop is doing this or that, doesn't mean that you should do this or that. You need to really make sure you are doing your research for your own wealth and making sure that it's good times for you to do things that is good for you. Well, it might not be the right time. Just because silver is coming up, and let's say that you just have this really good gut feeling that silver is going to go to $60 any day now, right? That's great to have a gut feeling, or it's great to have a belief system. Who knows at any given moment what's going to happen to silver or gold. But at the end of the day, if it's going to go to 60 and you just feel like you're going to miss out, but you don't have the funds to make sure that you're going to be safe with other aspects of your life, whether it be some bills or some things that might break that you got to go ahead and call the repairman and come and fix that stuff. You got to really make sure that you're watching all of your budgets and your finances when it comes to this kind of stuff too, because if you start tapping into this stuff, because you don't have funds to fix something little or to buy your groceries this week or to pay your electric bill, then you are just absolutely wasting your time and probably your money, because you end up paying some premiums on this kind of stuff. And when you go to sell it back, you end up losing a little bit, most likely. Sometimes you can win, sometimes you end up losing. I mean, it is what it is. That's the game we play. So make sure that you're really knowing your finances and make sure you're just kind of doing the right thing. I see so many people that have good jobs, good paying jobs, and they end up, just not having any kind of money set aside for savings. And I scratch my head at that stuff. And it's because they're just in this crazy debt with credit cards, or they're living paycheck to paycheck because they've spread themselves so thin with other things. And that's just not the way of the stacker, ladies and gentlemen. You just don't want to be that person. Real quick, you know that I have a really, really good following over on Whatnot, and I really would like to see you all over there. First link in the description. Use that link to save $15 off of anything on that website, on that app, Whatnot. I highly recommend you go over there. You can see me or see somebody else. You can buy precious metals, or you can buy shoes and antiques, baby clothes, clothes for you, clothes for them, whatever the case may be. I'll show you really quickly how to use the app. All right, so I'm going to show you how to use that $15. As long as you're the first-time user or a first-time buyer on Whatnot, you can go ahead and manipulate that $15 any way you'd like. I'm just going to go ahead and first I'm going to search in Spegtacular. That's me. And you can find me, and you don't have to actually spend it with me if you don't want to. You can spend it with anybody. But you'd click on me, and you can just see right there in my shop, I have some items right now. There are 2 items right there. There are goldbacks with a sticker included for $15. That would be on the house. There's actually 3 items right there. So 3 things that you can get for that $15. That would mean that all you got to do is pay shipping, and basically you're just going to get some free golden stickers or free coins beyond the shipping right then and there. But let's say that you don't want to spend it with me. You can go anywhere you want. Let's say you want to look up Morgan dollar. And with this $15, you can end up getting that, Morgan dollar potentially at a super good price. Sometimes, depending on if they're just like some regular Morgan dollars, maybe raw, you could probably get them under spot. So here we go. We have all different options right there, and you can search through this at your leisure, or you can always go to live shows and check it out there too. But they have a giant inventory of both things that are live or things that you can just buy right now. No ifs, ands, or buts. And it's just amazing what you can get. And it's not just coins. It has everything. So you can see up here you have jewelry, sneakers, antiques. That's one of my favorite ones. And we can go to the antique shows and we can just see what's actually live right now. You can see there's several live antique shows, and you can just go down the rabbit hole if you wish. But $15 is yours to spend just by clicking on that link down below in the description, and use it. And why not, right? $15 for free. There's some big banks out there, and there's analysts, and they kind of say that silver and gold are going to be doing this or that. Now the analysts are saying that gold's going to be going higher, so, whatever. Those are the same analysts that, were basically saying that gold and silver would be creeping along, that for a lot longer than it has been. And so, take it with a grain of salt. A lot of these people don't really know anything. They just kind of have some guesses and some beliefs. And it's just easy to say things and then just walk away from it, And that goes for anybody out here that has some happy hands that's on YouTube or on the news or anything. They can say some things and then walk away, and there are no repercussions. Again, that's why I'm just kind of like beating a dead horse, saying that you really, really got to follow your own belief system, your own research. None of this stuff is going to go to $1 million. You're not going to be rich off of this stuff, but you can definitely be better off. That's for sure. This kind of stuff right here that we're looking at right in front of you, this has helped me and my family become debt free, and that's a wonderful feeling. It's an interesting thing too. Is when you become debt free, you're kind of like, well, what do I do next, right? Well, I'm going to keep going. Whatever got me, to the table of being debt free is also going to keep on helping me into retirement as well. Still a little bit younger right now, but I do think about retirement more than ever in my entire life. And I think about it because, that's the final goal, right? Is to make sure that everything that you've done up until retirement point is the right choice. Enough that your funds are going to be good for the rest of your life, however long that is. Maybe it's going to be a year, maybe it's 5 years, maybe I'll survive 10 years, who knows? But I want to make sure it's good for me and my family and I, this is just some stuff. I think this is so fun. I don't know why. I got these little silver cups a while back, and I was like, let me put some silver in these things. And so just now you start adding this stuff up, and it's a lot of money. Here, what is this, a quarter ounce? So here's a quarter ounce. I think I see a few of them. Quarter ounce. I mean, with today's prices, that right there is $50 in my hand. Those 4 little pieces. And I got this much left to talk about. There was just sitting all kinds of casually in this one little cup. And then I have 2 of these cups full of kind of the same similar pieces. 1/10 ounce, a quarter ounce, probably some grams in there too. In fact, I see a gram right there. So it'd be interesting just to see what the value is on those kind of things. If I had a scale right here, I would do that for us, but I don't think I have a scale. You know what? I'm going to get a scale. I'm just kind of curious how much money is in one of these cups right here. Oh, I did find a little digital scale, so let me go ahead and get that on troy ounces. And it is. Let me put this plastic cup on there, and we're going to go ahead and set it to at 0. So it's at 0. We're not going to actually measure the cup. We're just going to measure the contents inside. So we're at 0 on the scale. Put all this silver into one of these little cups, and let's see how many ounces we're at. It's just amazing how this stuff starts adding up. 7.43 ounces. Look at that, huh? That's crazy to me. So we're talking some decent money right there. I mean, definitely over $300. Just right here in that little tiny cup. Craziness. Crazy. So you have to imagine probably a similar amount is right here. I mean, $600, $700 sitting right here in 2 little tiny cups. And I mean, that could be a car payment, for some people. That's a good little chunk of change just right there. And it's It's something that you don't even think about. When you're a stacker, you just start putting this stuff away, and you start just going like, yep, hiding this away, socking this away, putting that in that little hiding spot, just, whatever. You just keep going. And then before you know it, you come over here to YouTube and you make a video and you have, thousands of dollars worth of silver sitting on the table. Just no big deal. No big deal. And, you see what's here in front of you, but imagine what's elsewhere, right? What still hasn't come out yet to show the fans right here. It's interesting. It's interesting being a stacker. It's interesting times right now. It's bittersweet because I also, like I mentioned earlier, still a little on the young side. I would like to stack much more at a cheaper level. But, it's hard. It's hard right now with it being as expensive as it is. $50 an ounce doesn't make it as much fun, let's say, as when it was 20, 25. Shoot, when it came down to sub 20, that was a wonderful time. I'm still big on the junk silver, on the 90%. I think it's a great opportunity to get fractional silver at a super cheap price. I've been finding like these BU dimes and stuff out there, so I've been putting those away. All kinds of stuff is out there. It's amazing what's getting melted. It's amazing what's out there available for us right now. Who was it? Silver Bean Counter. I remember him saying a while back, he said, hey, when the prices come up, the fun stuff comes out. And I tell you what, that is totally true. You find some really interesting things out there when the prices come up because people stop worrying about the collector's value of certain things. They start worrying only about the spot price, right? So the things where they, could have made an extra $5 per ounce on, that's just a non-issue anymore when prices have come up to $50 an ounce. That's just like, let's keep it, let's just make it simple and just sell everything as is. I don't care about premiums. I'm just going to go ahead and, cash in. And a lot of people are doing that right now. People are selling like crazy. People are still trying to buy too. And it's a scary time. Let's be honest. It's a scary time because we're in untested waters. In some cases, we've seen silver actually hit all-time highs just now. Same thing with gold, all-time highs. And so you just wonder, when does it stop? Does it just keep going? It can't just keep going forever, right? Eventually, everything has to come down. That's just a law, that's just the way life works. And so when is that? Are you going to get caught holding the bag at the top, at the peak? Or are you going to find some kind of, middle ground to where you can start steadily investing in this stuff and not totally get just killed at the top? It's one of those things, right? Now, I will say that, if you hadn't been investing in this for any amount of time, then you probably already know what to do. A little bit at a time will set you free. You'll be just fine. And I think that rule still goes for today. Like even if you have, let's say, $100 to invest today, and you can only get a couple ounces. Well, get your couple ounces today. And then in 2 or 3 weeks when you have another $100, go ahead and get your couple more. And that is going to average out throughout that entirety of you stacking. And whether it comes up or down, that average is going to be your total, investment. Basically, it's going to be your average of investment throughout that entirety of your stacking, history. And that's the way to do things. That's the way to do business. Is just average it out and just keep going little by little. I've seen so many people, especially during like COVID, so many people were selling out of one investment and jumping in crazily to silver, only to find out that silver ended up dropping to like $11 and something briefly. And then you know what? A lot of those people probably got freaked out because now their investment got chopped in half real quick. And so I bet you there was a percentage, who knows what that percentage is, but there was a percentage that says, you know what, I'm going to cut my losses. I'm out. I'm getting out right now. And they ended up losing, and only to find out that silver shot up 3 times its amount within like a month time. And so these crazy fluctuations and swings can definitely happen. But if you just stay true to yourself and you buy at 20, and then when it dips to 10, you buy a little bit at 10. And then when it rises to 30, you buy a little bit at 30. And then when it settles back down to 25, you buy a little bit there. And then when it starts coming up, after a few months, it starts eking all the way up to 50, but you've bought all the way up the ladder. Man, you've just stacked the right way. You haven't panicked at the bottom, and you haven't panicked when it was at the top. You just kept on stacking and averaged it out. And then one day, if it is time for you to sell, you'll know when that time is, based off of your needs and whatever's going on with you. Or maybe you won't sell. Maybe you just carry this stuff off into the afterlife. Who knows? But, if it's your time and you know it. And then you just worry about that average. And I tell you what, it's all going to feel good at the very end. This whole goal is to wait until the end. So, if there are some moments that you need to cut back on some of this stuff to peel it off a little bit and go pay off some bills that you have, then by all means, that should be something that you think about, that you find out if that's something that's right for you. That being said, I got to go for now. I do hope to see you over on Whatnot. It is a good time. I'm trying to go there about every other Friday or so make sure you bookmark my shows. And if you bookmark them on there, it will show you when I'm going to be live, give you kinds of a heads up so you can come see me. It's a good time, though. I do giveaways and all kinds of fun stuff. So hope to see you over on Whatnot, and hope to see, at the very least, your stack growing little by little. I got to go for now. Spegtacular is out. Well, hello, everybody. I seek to educate and entertain through my journey of collecting coins and stacking precious metals. I encourage you to subscribe, and please stay with me on this journey. I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular. When I was a kid, we did this every day in school, and I believe we need to bring this back a little bit, and I'm going to start right now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.